So this is Amy and Brian's vegetable bed. They're a client of mine, and we ended up using a Murch redwood, which basically means it's kind of thick, rough redwood. So I used a 2x4 for the cap, and you can see these are actual true dimensions, and then I used a 2x12, just two of them stacked on each other, and made a box. I added a little bit of details with a few other pieces, but overall it's a pretty simple box. The key for any vegetable bed, especially an organic one, is to use raw lumber. You don't want to use pressure treated, you don't want to use anything that's sealed on the inside because the soil will absorb that, and that's not what we want in our vegetables. Same thing with like a sealed wood or any sort of treated wood. Go with raw lumber. Cedar's great, Alaskan yellow cedar. You can use Doug fir, but it tends to rot out a lot quicker. Same with pine. So I really prefer to use cedar or redwood. So this is about a 4x4 vegetable bed. And what we did to fill it with soil, because of course it was empty, I went ahead and got topsoil, and it was about 1.25 yards to 1.5 yards of soil. The thing with the soil is if you just throw in a bunch of brand new fluffy soil, it's gonna sink over time. So we put in about 1 foot at a time and then stomped it down. It's kind of like a grape stomp, really. You just wanna compact it a little bit, and then you add another foot and another foot, and that way it's not after the first rain you get it to drop like 6 inches, which would just look sloppy and the plants wouldn't be as happy. So you wanna compact the soil as you put it in. So I have 4 different plants. I don't want to overwhelm this planter. That happens a lot when we get these tiny little baby plants. We just want to stick them everywhere. But you want to give it proper spacing so you have enough airflow as well as enough light that hits all of these. So I would suggest using a hand shovel, but I don't really have one on this job site, so I'm just using a shovel. And I want to plant these about the same size as the container. These are actually made out of some sort of paper, so I can just plant them right like that, making it super simple. I'm gonna push the soil in around it. And it's that easy. So now I can run my drip irrigation through and make sure that these get enough water. I'll leave my plant tag in so you don't mess up cilantro and parsley, because cilantro is disgusting and parsley is amazing, unless you're one of those cilantro people. So I'm putting these in the corners, giving them plenty of space. I could probably put one more thing in the center if I want, but I need to make sure that I give this a good 2.5 feet or so. These little parsleys and cilantro will stay relatively small. They might get like 18 by 18 if I'm lucky. There we go. This plant is a cucumber, so I want to keep it on the corner, and my goal is to have it grow over. This south sun is over here, so it's gonna follow the sun and grow outside of the planter onto the ground where I have a lot of space, but its roots will be in this nice fancy soil. So it kind of gets like luxury living, but it can sprawl out into everywhere. Okay, you can see it's a little floppy, right? So these are one of those weird plants that you can actually plant the stem, because usually you want to keep the soil the same, but here I'm actually gonna plant it up to here, and that's gonna stabilize the stem. Most plants don't like this. Tomatoes are weirdos, but delicious. Okay. I got it. How do I want to do that? How about like so? This tomato is so little right now, I went ahead and put a cage in. It's a little premature, but it's gonna appreciate having this space to grow and something to grow on. Usually you see them the circles. I found this triangle one. It's kind of cool, and I like that it's pretty versatile because I can put it up this way or I can put it down horizontally if I had like beans or something. But I have a tomato, so it's gonna be tall. Do you guys have a garden going? If so, let me know what you're growing in the comments below. Also, if you like parsley, make sure you subscribe. If you like cilantro, you can go subscribe as well. Happy planting!